what could be a factor of some movies not getting the attention or the financial success like other movies?
I mean, the advertisement, the audience that they're catering to, are they targeting the right audience? Is what I'm thinking. And well, I guess it depends on like timing also.
That's it. Timing. Especially for 2026 Supergirl. With a Rotten Tomato score of 54% by the critics and 76 by the audience, I highly would agree with you in the sense of timing because some movies, when they open up, especially in the sense like of this one, against other franchises that have been established, like Toy Story, like Jackass, that opened the same time, the same weekend as Supergirl, and coming up is Minions.
Mhm.
Those three movies are successful franchises. Toy Story 5 came out a week before. As I mentioned, Jackass came out the same weekend, and then Minions is coming out a week after. So you have three, like, you have a bookend in the middle of why, like, this Supergirl coming out this time was a bad strategy because it is without a doubt successful franchises that are not rebooted, but successful franchises that prove to get better and better and better financially, story wise, what have you, would always outweigh and be superior to new projects. Supergirl is a new project. So I think that's what happened with the financial flop of this movie because I think this movie is solid. Is it 100% solid? No. Is there weaknesses? Yes. But in comparison, in my opinion, and then maybe you agree, that it is far superior than 1984's Supergirl.
Here's the thing: majority of people going, they're not going to have that reference.
Well, let's talk about it. Welcome back to A Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel,
I'm a Don.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert. How was your movie experience?
It was all right. I went around 7 o'clock, and there was like a handful of people there. Not, it wasn't really packed.
Okay.
Granted, I went in the middle of the day, like not middle of the day, like middle of the week.
Okay. We went on a Saturday. No, we went on a Sunday. Excuse me. We went on a Sunday, and it was pretty good size. And the people cheered, especially at the end. They had a good ride.
No one
But
cheered at mine.
these people did. And also to mention from earlier, movies like Obsession and Backdoors, two horror films that are still racking it up in the theaters. And you still have Michael still playing, and people are seeing that still. So again, you have these successful films that are ahead of Supergirl, still, bringing steam into the box office. But I enjoyed this movie. I liked the take on it, on her origin story. And
Yeah,
it made sense
I
why
mean,
she was drinking,
it's based on the Woman of Tomorrow story.
but loosely based from what I heard.
Correct. It's not. I didn't have the
Opportunity?
wherewithal or the opportunity to read the storyline. I am
Same
familiar
here.
with the basics of it, which this definitely covered all the basics. But it is also taking part from the Silver Age origin of Supergirl. I think we talked about this in one of our other reviews, where the 1984, where traditionally, or not really traditionally, in a lot of versions of Supergirl, her background is that she's technically older than Superman, and then she gets like warped in time, or something happens that
So, like,
causes
yeah,
her.
something happens where like her ship gets lost or whatever, blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah.
But in the
Right. It
Silver
gets
Age
derailed.
version, is more like, no, Superman's older, like legit older. It's just that the
Hmm.
conditions to why they weren't sent at the same time were different, and
Hmm.
then the explanation of her city and how she survived on her city beyond that,
Hmm.
without involvement of Brainiac, it adds up.
Like I said, I liked her origin story here. It made sense in us that way. It was a good take too, because they're a city from Krypton, similar to what we saw in the 1984 movie, but the force field took out the city and able to escape Krypton, but it still got the radiation, but it was a slower, it was like a virus in their system that gradually built in time. And then they say, well, listen, we're done, but we can save you. Because the father was just as smart as Jor-El. He's the one that helped save the city, right? So
Yeah.
I like that. I love that had they focus on the language, how crypto came involved. Her spaceship, in my opinion, reminiscent to the 1970, was it 78, 79 Superman movie?
You mean the
That one had
84?
like, to me, it's like the melding of the two.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Granted, she's not looking at lava lamps going through the portals and stuff like that. But I also like the costume that she had. Her space suit her space traveling suit was very reminiscent to the comic books of how they drew the Kryptonians' fashion wear.
Kind of reminded me of All Star Superman.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of like that. But her being an alcoholic, her connection with crypto in a
Hmm.
sense of like why she's trying to save him, stuff like that. I get it. Unlike Kal-El Clark, who left as a baby, has no real connection to Krypton in a sense of like what she did. She left as a teenager or maybe a young adult in a sense in her early 20s, depending on because I'm not sure what the age they said she left, but she has that history, that memory of being there. So she's trying to drink to forget. She's in a way of punishing herself for living.
Yeah, it's like a survivor's remorse.
Exactly. And then with Krypton, being poisoned and dying, I totally understand that. I really appreciate that. I saw that where she was coming from in there. So I thought it was really cool in that aspect that took that take. What are your thoughts, like real immediate thoughts?
It's solid. I had no real issues overall. If I was comparing between the Superman and Supergirl, I'm gonna vibe more with the Superman movie more.
Of course, he's more of a popular icon. Like she is still an unknown in the zeitgeist of DC. Like Wonder Woman, boom, way up there, right? Supergirl is like D level superhero status. Black Canary is more popular than her. Catwoman is more popular than her. So you have, Zatanna is more popular than her.
Yeah,
Wonder
sure.
Girl is more popular than her.
I don't know about Wonder Girl, but still, I got you. To be fair, like where I feel like a lot of people have confusion is that a lot of people try to put Supergirl in the same bracket as Superman as far as
right,
personality type.
right, and that they're
And that's classically not the case.
exactly
And that's where a lot of people fall short if you try to put the two characters together as the same, because they're not.
right.
Even when you go back to like the cartoons, going back to like comics, 84 was the closest they tried to get to like the goody two shoes Superman style, and we all saw how that went.
Well, she's supposed to be edgy. She's supposed to be, like we've seen many incarnations of Supergirl through the comics and through the animations.
Power Girl is even also a version of Supergirl. That is Supergirl from another reality that just is
Correct.
older.
And healthier.
That's look at your mom in the future kind of situation. That's her in the future. That's how she
No,
is.
I'm not gonna look at my mom the way. But
So- but
but
no,
I'm just saying, anyway, yeah.
what I'm saying is in regards to it, that when we were talking about being well received,
Mhm.
and I feel like that's one of the reasons why it's not as well received. Is
I
because
for
people
me, I
have
think this
that
movie should
interpretation wrong.
right, but I think the movie should have came out later, like in August.
Oh, you're talking about it just in general in the year. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, yeah, she came out later for that where
Or earlier.
the power hits, huh?
Either before or after. Like
Yeah, Superman came out last year, and this came out, it's relatively quick. It feels like almost 6 months since Superman came out. It's
mhm.
been, of course, it's been longer, but that's what it feels like. But she does a great job portraying Kara, Supergirl. She does a great job in the sense of person who suffering from survival or something like that. And like you said, like you mentioned earlier, so she's punishing herself in the sense of living while her parents and her family and her city, her whole world has vanished. Like she witnessed that in a way where, like I said, like Kal-El Clark Kent has not. Pretty much you when you first moved from Jersey to Florida, you had a little rebellion going on because you
I had
didn't move
adjustment
like
issues. Yeah.
her too, and how she's doing it, or excuse me, dealing with it is with drinking, and
Well,
stuff like
yeah.
that. She's trying to, put a veil over her current situation. And like I said, I did appreciate that. Now, I do have one problem in a sense. Well, there's some other things, but the main one was the villain. I didn't feel the villain was evil enough. Yes, was he doing? He was doing what I couldn't help but think of the Furious, because in a way he was doing child trafficking.
I got
We're
you.
child traffickers.
Well, basically, they were abducting young women to be brides.
Well, still, that's child trafficking. That's
Yeah, yeah,
kidnapping. That's
yeah,
taking,
yeah.
taking stuff. They were not older.
I thought
I
you
don't
were gonna
remember
go
seeing
more
any.
like the Furiosa.
Possibly. Well, I don't. I can't remember Furiosa. I saw it once, and I was like,
Was it Fury Road? Mad Max Fury Road, where they were
but,
the guy with the witness
right.
me, that guy, the leader of the clan. They would literally
Yes.
have women, and he would like have multiple brides because he's trying to have an heir that wasn't
Right. Trying to have a male.
disabled.
No, I understand, but like I said, I can't remember those because they're not as
Yeah.
to
But what I'm
me.
saying,
They didn't stick to me.
that's what I'm saying. That part did
Yeah.
stick with me. They were taking young brides, and that was like in
Okay.
Fury Road, the brides were like escaping from that
Got
was
you.
the premise of it. So
Okay. Now, but also there are weapon collectors, which
yeah,
makes no sense. They're like looking for steel for swords, but they have guns, they have arrows, they have darts, they have all this stuff. So I
I
was like,
think it was twofolds because supposedly like because her family was infamous for making like the finest
yeah,
bladed weapons.
right.
So it was more like A, they are valuable, currency
Like currency and
valuable,
stuff like that.
yeah, for trade.
Hmm.
Because remember, she offered her sword, family sword, and they were like, "Oh,
Right.
now you have our interest
Right.
for a bounty." And
Now,
then supposedly, like if it's like having like what is it, a Tori Hanzo's sword? It like
Tori Hanzo.
everybody has guns at that time, but if you had a Tori Hanzo sword, everybody paid attention.
Right. Right.
That's how I
But
took it.
I think, okay, for me, I also think that the girl should have died. She was there. He killed the brother, the mother, the father, but let her live while she was in awe and reach.
Listen, I get where you're coming from. I took it more like that he just didn't care. Like it just didn't register on him. Like
Okay,
like
I
she's
guess.
so insignificant that he just walked away. He didn't
Yeah.
really glance at her or pay her attention after he killed her brother and family. He just
Right.
went on his business. And
Yeah, to
technically,
eat more pie.
it was her fault.
Oh, definitely. Oh,
100%.
definitely her fault.
There
But
was a
also
there
the
was a
but
percentage
also
of a
the brother.
chance that well the brother didn't even know that he was there.
But I understand that. But he took the headphone. Didn't he take the headphones off to scare her?
Like the last minute before, like he had them
But
all
I'm
the
just
way
saying,
on
you
to
should
the
have heard
last.
it. Like, okay, I'm sorry. If I see my sister or my brother, I see you through the crack of a door, and you're like serious, like this. It's like, hey, what's going on? But no, he goes like, try
Yeah,
to jump scare, scares everybody. The guy has a reaction, throws an axe at him. It's just like,
yeah.
what the heck?
But granted, as siblings, we've done dumb stuff too.
I
So
Yeah, I
in
know,
a
but
moment,
still,
I get you.
but still, but still. But yeah, I just thought like him as a villain was not
He's
too
not meant to be a memorable villain. Like
well. He wasn't.
no,
Definitely wasn't.
he's meant to be a threat to an extent, but not in the sense
Right.
that like he's going to be I'm a recurring villain. No, he's just a guy who happens to be on the wrong side of the table at this point as far as villains
Yeah, I guess so.
goes.
Yeah. Did you like Lobo?
I did enjoy Lobo, and arguably the best live action Lobo we've had so far. Consider
How many
we,
live how many live Lobos have we had?
to my knowledge, one other.
Where? When? Who?
There was a show called
Smallville?
no. Oh wait, did we have Lobo in Smallville?
I don't know.
I don't
Yes.
remember, but I do, and definitely not in Supergirl. I don't believe Lobo was in Supergirl. Krypton. There was a show called Krypton,
Oh, that's right.
and Lobo
That's
definitely was a
right.
character in Krypton.
Right. And there was a short film also, as I see
Yeah.
right here.
Now,
Now, I like
I would
I found
say,
it funny. I
I
do
would
find it
say,
fun.
I will say this though: a Krypton show, they did a better job of showing his capabilities of powers,
Mhm.
taking injuries, recovering, even like um uh cutting off his own arm and and blowing off his head so he can regenerate through his arm.
Oh,
Yeah, because that's what
that's like a Deadpool thing.
yeah, but his ability is like next level. That's why when they introduced him
Yeah.
in the movie, they said his like near godlike immortality
Right,
because
right.
he can regenerate from a single drop or cell of blood, and
Oh, wow.
he can make like an army of little
But
lobos.
wait, hold up. So wait a minute. He blows off his head. He regenerates from his arm. If he can generate from his arm and he blows off his head, and you said he can regenerate from a thing of blood, that other body should be able to
His power here,
regenerate.
no,
There should be two
which
Lobos
exactly, which has
or
happened.
multiple if blood splattered.
Yes, yes, it's weird, but in the comics that's happened where he's had like an army of mini lobos just growing because of body parts and everything that's been spread, and all he just does is just like they kill each other off until one's left.
That wouldn't make sense because again, if a drop of blood is enough for him to
It,
regenerate, then it'll be even multiple. To get rid of him, he had to be incinerated.
yes, that's what he does.
Oh, I do find it funny you had a
I
bodysuit
heard
on.
in an interview the chains were real.
Oh, really? The weight of the chains?
Yeah, he's like He was like, that was, and the motorcycle was functional. So he's like,
Oh,
the chains
nice.
were real, the motorcycle were functional, and the cigar,
That was fake.
but to an extent, because the original cigar that they wanted, he's like, this is too small. So he went
Mhm.
to a local shop, and he ordered like the biggest cigar that they had, which it was like the biggest Cuban they could get, and they modeled it after that. It's based on a real size cigar,
Right.
and then they made it so that every time he puffs,
It lights up.
it lights up and blows vapor into his mouth. He really did have to pull on it in order to get it to light up on those action scenes.
Mhm, mhm. Now, what about Supergirl herself? What do you think about her?
I was okay with her. One of the biggest complaints I had with that I could hear with people like online was the way
Yeah,
she looked.
I have to agree. She can act. I'll give her that. I'm sorry, she's in my opinion, she's not visually appealing. It's weird. She looks like she has an underbite and she doesn't at the same time because she's like this. She looks like Adam Warlock from Guardians. They look related.
I never would have put those two together, but okay.
But you know what I'm talking about, Adam Warlock, right? The
Yeah,
actor.
yeah, yes, you're right. That's what people were, have compared her to as well.
Maybe when she gets older, it'll change because as he got older, his looks did change as well.
Mhm.
And maybe I'm being chauvinistic or machismo, whatever you want to call it. It's just like I had trouble in looking at her. I did, but her acting was good. She did sell her story. She did sell it. Yeah, I just felt after a while I felt bad for her. I was like, damn, you know. And like I said, I took it as a point of view of a person that lived in the town, you know, had friends, had, you know, what have you, was established, and then had to forcibly be moved. And
Mhm.
then you have, you know, but you know why in the sense of the destruction that happened afterwards. And then it was smart what they did there. And it says like, why not take Krypton to get into the yellow sun? But the poison was so bad that any mobility will escalate the poison.
They didn't say
You
that.
know, and yes, it did. Yeah, the witch doctor girl lady. They said that that's why he stayed. That's why he was instilled
Oh.
because yeah, any kind of like if you pick him up to move him like that, it would just make the poison move faster. So he
Mhm.
was, you know, lucky just to stay there. I mean, I like to also because it sounded the Kryptonian language sounded Jewish or Hebrew, excuse me, Hebrew. Sorry for that. And the doctor's language sounded like Native American,
Mhm.
which was very cool. I like that how that aspect. How true am I, or how right am I to that? I don't know. I don't know. But just the way
The
the
inflection, the
pronunciations, the
influx.
inflect. Yes, yes. It just sounded like those two languages. I mean, the father Zor-El. I've seen him in other movies and other projects. I can't remember his name right now, but he was awesome. Seth Rogen is in this.
Yes. He played the little guy on the bus.
Right.
Which, speaking
Yes.
of language on the bus, I want to say techno pirates. They sounded French to me. Could be wrong.
Yes. 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 I thought that was cute that she's trying to get away. She's at a bus stop. She's at a literal bus stop to travel.
Yeah.
Maybe that's in the book, in the comic book. I don't know, but I thought that was really cute.
I feel like
What
it
about
was.
yeah, most likely they do that. It's just apps. It's like, but to me, I'm sorry, I just find it kind of abstract, like out of the norm, but it kind of fit at the same time. I also love the planet where the baddies were at.
Oh, with the two sons?
Yes.
That was in the
It was
comic.
very Star Wars, but also very cool. So like that planet is like right in the middle of the two suns,
Yes.
the red and the yellow.
And I want to say it was in one of the OG classic comics with Superman, where they introduced the idea of the green sun.
Oh, yes,
It
right.
was
It
yellow
was
and
green,
green.
yellow,
Uh,
green. Excuse me.
but in that one, it was established that the green sun can strip Superman of his abilities and whatnot. And then other
Mhm.
storylines, they added the aspect that has a poisoning effect, very much like kryptonite.
Kryptonite.
There's more colors to the spectrum of the suns,
Right.
but like, yeah,
But I
they
thought that
have
was
different
cool.
things.
I thought that was cool. It was very, you know, it was like a smart tactic of the pirates. I'm going to call them pirates because I don't know what else to call them. I just felt it was a smart tactic to that. I do
Yes.
find it funny that Lobo's going after like the second in command instead of the main guy. He's going to some guy with a red mohawk.
Yeah.
So he's going after him. It's like, but what did this guy do? Like this guy did something worse than their main guy. It's like, what did he do that was deserving to get his head chopped off? I did find that hysterical.
Well, that was the funny thing. Is like by the end of the movie where he was in the cell, it's like, I'll kill for money or I'll do whatever for money. You would think at that point that would have been the girl, like, well, I'll give you my father's sword, you know,
Right.
because that was what she offered originally to anybody. But
Mhm.
now I kind of saw it coming, like that she probably wouldn't end up killing the guy just because like that wasn't like the first thing to pop into her head. She's
Now, what
starting to steer away.
how did he get captured? I don't remember
They never say.
how what he said.
They never
'Cause I mean, 'cause
they
like
never say how he got captured. And matter of fact, she's like, they called him out, and he's like, "I'm not captured. I'm just waiting."
it's
That's
like,
what hunters do.
okay.
We wait.
Yeah, but it was like, but how would you get? I don't know, because from what you're saying, like how badass Lobo is and regenerative, and he's, I know he's strong too. Is like because he could have gotten out that jail so easily,
Technically, probably
and
could
then
have.
and then he got shot up a couple of times. Oh no, it was a dart. It was a poison dart at the tip. But
Mhm.
again, he can regenerate.
Yeah,
But maybe the poison would have been counter at. I don't know.
it
I don't
probably
know.
would have slowed him down. It would pain him. I mean, because there's been plenty of comics where, I like the first thought that comes to mind, like is the Superman animated series when they introduced Lobo.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like he kept getting gassed and drugged, and like he would just wake up again.
Kind of like Wolverine.
Yes. So like it may take him out, but he'll just come back, but it just slows
Hmm.
him down. But the fact of the matter is like it's also one of those things like, okay, maybe you can get out a lot, but if you're trying to capture your prey and your prey is like on a big ship, making
Hmm.
a ruckus just gives the opportunity for him to get away.
That's true. That's true. I like the melee scene too. I thought I
Which
thought
one?
well the one with the bus where she's zapping in and out, time traveling, whatever you want to call it, or night crawling. That's pretty much what he was doing is night crawling. I thought that was cute. But the melee at the finale,
Gotcha.
that was a good one. You can see her, the intensity, the movements. They showed it in the commercial. Whoever was her stunt double in sense of martial arts, man, that spinning back kick, beautiful. The execution of the spinning back kick was just so nice. What about weak moment?
Some of the downtime, I guess. There's not a weak moment scene that comes to mind for me in particular, other than the fact like the combinations or segments into the scenes. And it's hard for me to explain this one.
Okay.
Some parts just didn't feel like they fit. I heard some people didn't like the dynamic between her and the little girl, like that they weren't
Yeah.
clicking
Well, okay,
together.
real quick. So, Ruthie, played by Eve Ridley, did her parents have accents?
They were on screen long enough for me to tell.
I don't think they did.
They really didn't do much with the
And
whole voice box thing either. That was like a one-time thing.
Kremp, sorry, I'm not
Matthias
going to try to pronounce that.
Schoenaerts.
Good for you, because I know. Yeah, but Kremp, yeah, he touched it, and I was like, that was it. You know what I thought? I thought it would be ripped out.
I thought she was getting
At one time,
damaged it.
like
Yeah,
like rip it out, but she just stabs him and stuff like that, which I thought was kind of cool that she went that approach. Clark would never do that. That's one thing for sure. She took that for the girl wouldn't, for the young girl wouldn't, because the girl was still pure.
yeah. And she didn't want the little
And
girl
she,
knowing either.
yeah,
She probably was planning on doing it a while ago. Like from the get go, it just doesn't want the girl knowing that the guy was gonna die.
no, true, right, no,
Yeah.
yeah, she saved it. She's like I said, she saved her from that aspect. Yeah, the weak points, the weak moments here, I will agree with you is in some of the pacing. But I mean, this movie is not long. Oh, there's no end credits.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't count that as a flaw for a film. Sometimes those end credits are
I just,
good.
I'm
Yeah,
not saying it's a flaw. It's just the first one in a long time that we haven't had an end credit for a superhero movie.
I feel like we've had others, but sure.
I can't remember right now. Well, it's the first one for the DCU. We had a end credit
I mean, they've
for
only had
the
two,
Superman.
but okay.
Exactly. To go back onto Rotten Tomatoes, it is 54% by the critics and 76% by the audience. Who do you fare with?
We're in line with the audience. It's a fair score. It's not horrendous. It's not great,
Yeah.
but it's a solid.
No,
It's like
it
a
is a
C
solid. No,
plus.
it's good. Yeah. I mean, granted, if I was DC, Warner Brothers, excuse me, I personally would have taken this right to streaming.
Well, considering how much they spent, no.
Hopefully they'll make it some back, what have you. But I just felt a year after the first one, Superman, and then we had Peacemaker in between,
The show,
right?
yeah,
Do we have
we did.
Peacemaker the last season after Superman? So it was just I find it a little too soon, or like I said, or have it wait a little bit longer. Just have it wait a little bit longer. I like what they're doing in the DCU. Like certain characters are going to follow certain genres
Hmm.
because like Clayface, that's going to be a horror movie.
Yeah,
And then you have other ones who's like every character or certain character is going to have a certain theme behind it to really bring a different approach and appeal that stands out against the MCU or what has come before. Spider-Man's coming out soon. That's going to kick ass. I know they're going to kick ass because my AMC app froze when they were doing pre-sales. So that's going to kick ass. Do you think this is worth a watch though in the movie theater?
I would say sure.
Me too. Me too. I mean, a movie like that is just like the others we've seen.
Is it worth bringing the kids?
Yeah. Yeah. Why not? It's not violent. It's not, in the sense of like overly violent. Like I want to take my kids. I want to take kids to see Obsession.
This is true.
All right, guys. That is our DC-ness review of 2026 Supergirl. Have you seen it? What are your thoughts? What is your favorite moment? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Until next time, will be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adon.
Up, up, and away. I know that's not her line.
If I had a beer, I'll pop the can right now.